So आते हैं sum number 2.35. Details about the portfolio of the shares of an investor is as below. Number of shares 3 lakh, price 500, beta 1.4, 4 lakh shares 750, 1.2, 2 lakh shares 250, beta 1.6. The investor thinks that the risk of his portfolio is very high and wants to reduce it to 0.91. The beta ought to be greater than 0.9. Any which ways, all the three shares that constitute the portfolio are having a great beta greater than 1. He is considering two below mentioned alternative strategies. Dispose of a part of his existing portfolio to acquire risk-free securities. अच्छी बात है, ये भी कर सकते हैं. Take appropriate position on Nifty futures, which is currently traded at 8125, and each Nifty point is worth 200 units. यानी you're required to determine portfolio beta. कर लेंगे भाई. Value of the risk-free securities to be acquired हो जाएगा sir. The number of shares of each company to be disposed of. November 16, 2008. ये भी हो जाएगा. Number of Nifty contracts to be bought, sold, right? And the value of the portfolio beta for a 2% rise in Nifty. It's a very interesting sum. थोड़ी मशक्कत तो है. Getting good 8 marks, right? So securities A limited, B limited, C limited. Right? Number of shares 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 2 lakh. In lakhs. Price 500, 750, 250. 500, 750, 250. Yeah. Beta 1.4, 1.2, 1.6. I'll take it up later. First, we'll calculate the value. Value क्या आएगी यहाँ? 1500 lakhs. Value again in lakhs. 750 into 4, 3000. 500. That's 5000 lakhs. Right? The beta 4 to 6. We'll begin our computation with the first part. Computation of portfolio beta. What's the weighted average beta? Let's compute. $1.3 is the weighted average beta. Portfolio beta, right? दूसरी बात क्या पूछी हमसे, वैल्यू ऑफ रिस्क फ्री सिक्योरिटीज टू बी एक्वायर्ड. Required beta is 0.91. Percentage reduction in beta. How much percentage reduction are we seeking? 30%, right? हर बात चेक कर लिया करो, बेस्ट रहता है. राइट, परसेंटेज रिडक्शन इन बीटा 30%. चलिए हो गया. Therefore, amount of, क्या पूछा है, वैल्यू ऑफ रिस्क फ्री सिक्योरिटीज टू बी acquired, right? And number of shares of company to be disposed of. So we are still going by trend A that we saw in our notes. We pull out something from the portfolio, liquidate it, and then acquire risk-free securities. Therefore, the amount of risk-free securities to be acquired कितना आएगा, 5,000 lakhs is 1,500 lakhs. Am I right? तो ये एक काम हो गया आपका. थर्ड पार्ट, नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स ऑफ ईच कंपनी टू बी डिस्पोज्ड ऑफ. राइट, disposed of for the purpose of risk reduction securities in the portfolio need to be sold in proportion of their respective weights. राइट, हमने ऑलरेडी सीखा ही है, फिर भी बता दे रहा हूं. शेयर्स या सिक्योरिटीज ऑफ ए लिमिटेड, बी लिमिटेड एंड सी लिमिटेड. Existing number of shares, what are they? 3 lakh, 4 lakh and 2 lakh. Number of shares sold, yeah, to be sold, right? Follow working note for everything. बीटा रिडक्शन क्या आएगा, वैल्यू के हिसाब से जाना है, ना कि नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स के हिसाब से. करेक्ट. 1,500 by 5,000 That's the weight of A Limited, shares of A Limited. How much value will offload, right? 1500 by 5000 into, so भाई ये weight आ गया और ये current proportion है उसका, and 1500 lakh is 30% is nothing but 1500 lakh, so that much needs to be dumped off. So how much of A Limited will go? 450 lakhs is 450 lakhs. लेकिन ये अभी अमाउंट में है. नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स टू बी सोल्ड, प्राइस क्या है 500. 450 lakhs by 500 is what? 0.9 lakhs, or we can write it as 90,000. So 90,000 of shares have to be sold, right? हमेशा ये ध्यान रखिएगा, proportion of weight है value terms में, right? weight कितना है 1500 by 5000, so that 1500 and 5000 are values, right? So that we got our weight. So 1500 of offloading that we need to do now, उसमें इसका weight कितना है 1500 divided by 5000, so that's 0.3, right? So 30% of 1500 lakhs would be occupied by your offloading of A Limited. तो A Limited से कितना offloading होगा 450 lakhs का, which is nothing but 90,000 shares. New number of shares, right? अब B Limited का क्या सीन है? So B Limited भाई कितना ऑक्यूपाई कर रहा है 3000 lakhs out of 5000, which is 60%. सिक्सटी परसेंट ऑफ 1500 कितना आएगा 900 आएगा. चेक करना आवश्यक. So rupees 900 lakh of offloading would happen on account of B Limited. Number of shares to be sold, $900 lakhs by 750, 1.2 lakh shares, right? So यहाँ नेट कितना बच गया अभी 2,80,000 shares. C Limited, कितना था C Limited? I think 500 only. 1500, 3,500. It's occupying 10% of the portfolio. Offloading 150 lakhs. Number of shares, $150 lakhs by 250 कितना आ रहा है 0.6 lakh shares. We can write it as 60,000. Like 40,000 new holding. So this is the revised holding that we are able to compute. Number of shares of each company to be disposed of been very clearly written. Number of shares to be disposed of. 90,000 shares of A Limited, 120 of B Limited and 60,000 of C Limited. ठीक है, अब एक alternate method भी बता दे रहा हूँ, अब आप भड़कोगे मेरे ऊपर पूरी तरह से. You've done two sums through the proper method, proper explanation. ठीक है, ये proportion of investment ही लेना है. I always recommend because I love this long method, very neat and clean, right? But in case if you want to save time and still get it accurate, proportion of weights ही correct method है, मुझे वो पसंद है उसी लिए. इसका मतलब ये नहीं दूसरी मेथड करेक्ट नहीं है. ऑल्टरनेटिवली लिखिए नंबर ऑफ shares to be sold. So will this alternate method work in every sum where we require number of shares to be sold? 100%. A Limited, total number of shares कितने हैं? 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 2 lakh. 3 lakh, 30%, right? Offloading. 4 lakh. lakh. परसेंटेज रिडक्शन जो है डायरेक्टली मल्टीप्लाई कर सकते हो आप, राइट? 90, 120, 60, 90, 120, 60, राइट? सब प्रीवियस सम में काम करेगा, चेक कर लेना अपने आप, राइट? देयर वी हैव डन द वैल्यू बैकवर्ड, नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स इनटू द वैल्यू कर देना, आपको वो टोटल वैल्यू ऑफलोडेड वैल्यू मिल जाएगी, राइट? सो सॉरी बिकॉज लाइक सर्टन मेथड्स, कितना नीट लगता है ये, मुझे पता नहीं, ये पसंद है. So I've done it many times, doing it once more. So you can alternatively just directly write the percentage. Otherwise, जैसे मैंने बताया था, in proportion of its weights, you reduce it, right? In proportion of its existing weights, right? So that's 1500 by 5000, that's 30%. 3000 by 5000, that's 60%, right? And 500 by 5000, that's 10%, right? It's current weights. This is the very formal mechanism of doing it, right? So how on earth we get the same answer? It's just simple maths. It's just simple math. That's it, right? What I do, I go from investment then to shares. You can go from shares and finally to the investment value. Very much can be done. Ultimately, we have to offload 30%, right? So 30, 30, 30, we offload directly from the shares in the alternate method, right? In the other method, we find what is 30%, that's 1500. So in the current proportion, it is how much? So for A Limited, it's 30% of 1500, then B Limited, it's 60% of 1500, and C Limited, it's 10% of 1500. 30 plus 60 plus 10 coming up to 100%. So total 1500 offloading to be done, and then divide by the price of the shares to get the number of shares. राइट, ठीक है, ये भी एक तरीका है, बहुत बढ़िया तरीका है. अच्छा, बाकी है मेरे ख्याल से. चलो, couldn't stop laughing suddenly. I thought let me share number of shares disposed of and the number of nifty contracts to be bought sold, right? Number of nifty contracts to be bought sold. निफ्टी की साइज वो सब देख लेते हैं. 8125 एंड lot size 200. Obviously, number of contracts of Nifty has to be sold. Bought nahi aayega. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think so. Fourth point this is. Value of portfolio. 5,000 lakhs. Value of lot. 8125 into 200. Right? 16,25,000. Did we got the weighted average beta? I think we did. That's how much? 1.3 percentage. Risk reduction. Already done this. It's 30%. Correct. Part of the portfolio to be hedged. क्या आएगा? 5,000 into. So we'll isolate 1,500 lakhs and completely hedge it. So in order to dilute the overall beta of the portfolio, right? Not that overall beta that we use in the beginning part of the chapter. So number of lots to be shorted, number of lots to be shorted. 1,500 lakhs divided by 16.25 lakhs into 1.30. Right? This 1,500 lakh, which is pulled out from, as we all saw now, is pulled out from the 5,000 lakh. So would also have the same beta of 1.3. So if we want to hedge that out, we have to make sure that the Nifty also has to run as quick. So we have to bundle more lots of Nifty, right? So 1,500 divided by 25 into 1 point. That's 120 lots. Right. Number of lots to be shorted is 120. So we are done with our part number 4. Part number 5, the value of the portfolio beta for 2% rise in Nifty. कहने का मतलब क्या है यहाँ? चेष्टा कीजिए समझने की. What will be happening to portfolio beta on 2% rise in Nifty? Right. तो क्या होगा? यहाँ पोर्टफोलियो शब्द का अर्थ समझना है. We have to understand what do you mean by the term portfolio over here. Does portfolio include Nifty? The answer is yes. Otherwise, the Nifty rises by 2%, portfolio moves by 1.3. If you have done nothing, no treatment is done. So after the last point, when we are asked how many lots of Nifty to be shorted, so what would happen to the portfolio beta? Right? In short, they are asking for a proof. Right? That's it. So And Nifty is part of the modified portfolio wherein 120 lots of Nifty are shorted to reduce बीटा. ठीक है, ये लिख दो, एक स्पष्ट हो जाता है, नहीं लिखो तो भी चलता है. What's beta? Percentage change in portfolio why on earth I'm trying to draw a straight line. Either this is taking the command. देखिए कहाँ से जा रहा है, मुझे समझ नहीं बन रही है. Something wrong with the calibration. Percentage change in portfolio by percentage change in market. It's a percentage change in market is 2% already given to us, right? Change in portfolio computation will do. Increase in value of portfolio. कितना आएगा? Securities. I'm talking about the security portfolio over here and nothing else. So it's 5,000 lakhs into 2% change in Nifty, impact 1.3 times for every percentage change. $130 lakhs, right? Loss on account, because Nifty has risen, we have short position, loss on account of Nifty short positions. How much would be that? 8,125 being the price. On that there was a 2% rise, right? And we took 120 lots and each lot was 200, right? All this divided by 1 lakh, so you get figures in lakhs. 8125 into 0.02 into 120 into 200 divided by 1 lakh, so you get 39 lakhs. Net increase, how much? 91 lakhs, right? After accounting for Nifty short positions. That is what happens to the portfolio. If it was left untreated, we would have gained, but we wanted to hedge ourselves for a possible fall, right? So we reduce the beta. Now, percentage change in portfolio कितना आएगा? 91 lakhs divided by 5,000 lakhs. That's the portfolio size, right? 1.82%. 1.82%. Finally, we can compute beta. Percentage change in the portfolio 1.82 divided by percentage change in the indices equals to 0.91 times. Thus, by taking 150 lots short position on Nifty, we can witness that the beta of the portfolio is reduced to 2.9. धन्यवाद. इन शॉर्ट ये लोग ने और कुछ नहीं, एक तरह का प्रूफ मांगा था कि भाई हम लोग 10% भी अज्यूम, उन्होंने बोला कि आप अज्यूम कर लो 2%, राइट. सो देयर इज अ 2% राइज. हम लोग जनरली क्या फॉल अज्यूम करके चलते हैं, जनरली फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ प्रूफ. उन्होंने बोला राइज हुआ तो क्या, राइज होगा फॉल होगा, हाउ डज इट मैटर, राइट. If it is a fall, the portfolio will lose, right, and the Nifty kicks in to provide the benefit. Over here, the reverse has happened. The portfolio has gained, and the Nifty has, you can say, accrued a little bit of losses, thereby keeping the percentage change in the portfolio to percentage change in the market to 0.91 times, right? ठीक है, बहुत ही स्पष्ट, थोड़ा बड़ा सब लेकिन बढ़िया. और शॉर्टकट थोड़ा लेट बताने के लिए थैंक यू, राइट. मैं अपने आप को बोल रहा हूँ. Details about portfolio of shares of an investor is as below. Shares A limited, B limited, सब कुछ दिया हुआ था. निफ्टी दिया हुआ है. So portfolio beta, they've asked, we have computed the portfolio beta to be 1.3. Risk reduction that was required, 30% of the total portfolio turns up to 1500 lakhs. Right, number of shares to be disposed of through the long method, you can do it, right. The existing number of shares 3, 4 and 2 lakhs each. So what do we do? 1500 lakh is the offloading required. So in the current proportion, as per the book language, as per the current proportion, we the A limited occupies 30%, B limited occupies 60%, and C limited occupies 10% of the portfolio. So likewise, out of 1500, we put it in the same proportion, right, of their existing weights. We figure out 90,000, 1,20,000, and 60,000 shares that need to be offloaded. There is one nice way out. You can just multiply the number of shares with the percentage reduction that you want without thinking much, right. 3 lakh shares है, उसमें से 30% हम लोग को रिडक्शन करना है, offloading करना है. 90,000, 120 and 60,000 will happen, right. So that was long and short of it. So number of Nifty lots to be sold, value of the portfolio 5,000 lakhs, so a lot value being 16 lakh 25,000. So that's the value of the portfolio to be hedged in this case, as we are doing a partial hedging. So value of the portfolio by value of the lot into beta. Beta brings about the adjustment to the Nifty number of lots, thereby wherein they can cancel out each other. Right? So that's 120 lots. Last part they asked, what happens to the portfolio beta? Right, if there is a 2% rise in Nifty, obviously if we have done nothing, taken no position, it will be 1.3. So we have to assume that the fourth point position is taken into account in the point number 5, wherein 150 lots were shorted. Due to a 2% rise in Nifty, the portfolio value has improved by 130 lakhs and loss on account of Nifty short positions being 39 lakh, thereby creating a net jump of 91 lakh in the value of the portfolio, which is nothing but 1.82%, and 1.82% change to a 2% change in the Nifty is nothing but 0.91 times.